we just saw Cam Ward's debut against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's break down every single pass from this game. But before we hop into the film, only 0.9% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed, please take a second and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. Let's hop into the film. First throw here is going to be a pure progression play where Cam Ward is going to throw a guy over the middle. He's not going to catch it, but still a pretty solid job of giving our guy a chance here. What this is a pure progression play. We're going to draw it out here. On the weak side of the field, the short side of the field, to our right, we have 2 out routes. And then on our left, we're going to have 2 curl routes. Now, the tempo of this play is set up where these 2 curl routes are going to be, the receivers are going to be curling at different times. And they're curling in a way where Cam Ward is going to be able to read both of them. And they do that by having the wide receiver at the point of the stack is going to curl first. So Cam Ward can look at him when he curls, and then he can, if that guy's not open, he can look to Calvin Ridley when he is curling. Now, I said this was a pure progression play, which means the reads are predetermined before the ball is snapped and before we see the alignment of the defense. How it works is you pretty much just look at one guy, you say, is he open? Yes, no. And then you go to the next guy, is he open? Yes, no. Obviously, if it's a yes, you throw the ball. If no, you go to the next read. Let's draw out exactly the way that Cam Ward is reading these guys. Chigakonkwo, our tight end, is going to be read 1, then read 2, read 3, and then we're going to finish it off with Calvin Ridley at read 4. So just like I said, you look at the out route 1, you look at out route 2, then you look at curl 1, or, he's labeled 3, but he's the first curl route. And then you finish it off by looking at Calvin Ridley. And you can see exactly this when the play is happening. Cam Ward starts from his right, gets over to his left. Now, this next play here, 3rd down and 10. Their guys open for first downs, but we're going to give Cam Ward a little bit of slack here because this is kind of a little bit of a tougher defense to diagnose if we are a young rookie quarterback. What this is cover 6, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be playing quarters defense to the strong side of the field and then halves defense, or a cover 2 look, to the weak side of the field. So we identify our strong side of the field by where is the offense's passing strength. So we have our bunch formation to the bottom of the screen, which means that side of the line of scrimmage is going to be our strong side. That's where we are going to be facing the 2 high safeties. And then on the other side, we will be facing the cover 2 look. We also have some hook zones in the middle here from that safety and then a linebacker. Now, let's draw out what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Tennessee Titans decided to draw up on Cam Ward's first 3rd down in the NFL. First of all, the point of the bunch, we're going to send him on a deep crossing route. Calvin Ridley is going to run right over the football and sit down and look back at Cam Ward. Then our last wide receiver is going to be on a curl route for himself. On the other side of the field, we're going to have a deep out route. And then Tony Pollard is going to be running himself on a table route, which looks like a perfect route concept versus cover 2, because we know in cover 2, we want to put the defender that's going to be in this area right here. We want to put him in conflict. And the idea is we're going to force him to either drop back to cover Chig on the deep out, or he's going to step up to go on the table route and take out Tony Pollard. But on this play, because we don't have a deeper route to take away the safety, that in theory, it doesn't work, or, that high-low situation doesn't happen on this play. And that safety is able, or that cornerback who's in the deep half, he's able to just take away Chigakonkwo, and then the linebacker who is in the flat is able to step up and take away Tony Pollard and completely kill it from up there. So what we need to do here is, we have to get off that read and just throw it to the guys who are open, but I understand why Cam Ward is struggling a little bit here. It's a tougher play. Now, getting into our next play here is going to be a play that I'm sure Cam Ward is going to absolutely love running in the NFL. We know he loves to throw deep. That's what we have learned about him if we know anything about him. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in a cover 3. Here are our 3 defensive backs who are deep. We are going to be running. So we got some hook zones over the middle. Pay attention to where these guys are because they will matter for the way this play shakes out. And let's draw out where our guys are going to be. So from our right side, we're going to have 2 very deep posts. And then we're going to have something similar on the other side of the field where it's going to be a deep cross from Calvin Ridley, and then we're going to have a shallower cross from Chig Okonkwo. Now here's your cross from Chig, and the idea is all those hook zones over the middle of the field, if they step up and take Chig, we're going to throw it over their heads to Calvin Ridley, or if they drop back and take the deeper route, whether that's Calvin Ridley or someone else, then we will just check it down to Chig and live to fight another day on the next play. But fortunately for us, they're going to step up and they're going to give us the opportunity to throw it over their heads and get a big gain here for our team. Next play here, I said every throw, so we got to break it down, but just a pretty simple RPO here. What Cam Ward is going to be looking at is he's going to be reading this deep safety right here. What we're going to be reading, whatever defensive back is on our slot wide receiver. We're here, it's a safety, which pretty much tells us right off the rip that the read is going to be throw. But, we're going to sit here and pretend like there's actually something to read. So Cam Ward, we are going to take a look at that safety and determine, is he going to step up and try to make a play on this ball? If he isn't, we're going to throw this little screen pass right here to our receiver because we got two other receivers to block their two defensive backs. Very favorable look for an RPO. Just pretending like this read isn't obvious. We have we shift all of our blockers down to the right, and that's how the run blocking would take place if there was going to be any run blocking on this play, which of course there isn't. So let's get into our next play. This is going to be a really, really tight one. Whew. Oh my goodness. So going to be another cover 3 look from the defense. We're going to send this cornerback deep, this safety deep, this cornerback down here is going to go deep as well, along with this defensive back is going to be in a curl zone, and that defensive back in the curl and our deep third over there, those are the two most important guys on this play. Now, what we are setting up offensively here, Chig is going to go out here to his left and curl, Calvin Ridley is going to be on a deep out route, and then the point of our bunch set down here, that wide receiver, he's going to be on a deeper bench route. The idea of this play versus this look, this cover 3 look, I'm going to show you exactly how Cam Ward is going to be reading this play. But first, we're going to draw out the backside where we have an in route paired with a Tony Pollard little check down here. That would be just a high-low thing should the left side of our play here not work out. The way we are reading the left side is we're going to read this guy, number 1, then we're going to read number 2 here, and we're going to read number 3 here. So how we are actually reading these guys is we saw the Chig Okonkwo check down, the first little curl route. We are going to look at him, and if defensive back number 1 is on Chig, first of all, we are going to check, does defensive back 1 step up to take Chig, yes or no? If it's no and he drops back, we're going to throw it to Chig. If yes, we are then going to check defensive back number 2. Now, defensive back number 2 is either going to be sticking to Ridley or he's going to be dropping back. He can only defend Ridley or the point of the bunch man. Now, in this situation, he does do what he's supposed to do, which is he drops back and takes the deeper bench route away. But in this situation, if number 2 was stuck to Calvin Ridley, we would be throwing a touchdown to that deep bench route because number 3 is the last read. But unless he knows what play is coming, he's not going to be in the right position to actually make that stop. So we can look here. Chig Okonkwo is covered. Calvin Ridley is open. Make the throw. Cam Ward, another pretty good play there. Now, Cam Ward loves these deep crossing routes from Calvin Ridley. What's great about this play is absolutely everyone is open. He better enjoy this because this is rare in the NFL. This is going to be a cover 1 man look from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all the way across the board. Man coverage. But right before this ball is snapped, Cam Ward, you can already see him looking to his right. He's going to take a look at Calvin Ridley, give him a hand signal, and send Calvin Ridley in motion. And these two defensive backs are going to switch their assignments pre-snap because they are in what we used to call bookends, where the inside guy is going to take the inside corner, will take the inside receiver, the outside corner is going to take the outside receiver. So their man coverage responsibilities, when the actual play starts, it's going to look more like this. So we're going to have we're going there, and then the safety will take Calvin Ridley. So that's what it's going to look like. That's why it's going to look a little different. And of course, this safety right here, we're going to send him deep. And what is fortunate about the offense that we have drawn up is everyone well, everyone's open other than Pollard, but everyone is on what's called runaway routes, which is just where you are running away from the guy in front of you. Now, so we have a curl route from our receiver to the bottom. We're going to send a flat route out from Chikakonkwo, and then a slant route up here, and we have Calvin Ridley is going to be on that deep over. So we actually have one route is not a runaway route. To the bottom of the screen, our wide receiver on the line of scrimmage is on a curl. They're going to be running a little curl flat concept to the bottom of the screen, but against man coverage, you expect Calvin Ridley, the guy you're paying almost $30 million, you're expecting him to be able to get open against man coverage, especially if we look in the middle. There's one linebacker who I never gave an assignment to. That's because he's blitzing. He absolutely leaves the middle of the field wide open for Cam Ward to pick and choose whatever receiver he wants to go ahead and throw the football to. Final play. Throws it right at a defender. This play, breaking it down, is actually not as bad as it seems live. We got to cover it. We got a Tampa 2 defense here. We'll draw out our easy zones here. There we go. We have our flats and we have our 2 deep safeties. This looked worse in real time because I was thinking Cam Ward, one of his biggest problems coming out of school is the fact that he turned the ball over a lot. So I was worried when he put the football right in the hands of a defender, but we're going to break this down. It's going to look a little bit different. So against Tampa 2, there are 3 holes that we want to exploit. It is the hole shot down here, the middle in between the 2 safeties, and then the hole shot to the top of the screen. Now, Cam Ward, we know he's reading the defense successfully because he knows that he has this go route, which is exactly going to right into that hole shot, and he's going to try to throw the hole shot. The problem is Chikakonkwo is running an out route, and this out route needs to be shallower because when that out route is so deep, our go route and our out route are going to end up pretty much in the exact same spot. And when that out route is so deep, there is no reason for that cornerback to ever not sit on the go route. He's just going to keep dropping back and keep dropping back. We need him to see a receiver in the flat for him to step up and allow us to go over the top. Now, that's one of the problems. The out route really should look more like this instead of being as deep as it is. It should be somewhere down here to try to bring down that flat zone, but the Buccaneers are probably too smart to fall for that. What really should be happening is there should be another receiver to take away that deep safety if we are going to try to make this work. But what I like about it is, in theory, that play should be open. So we know for a fact Cam Ward is reading the defense, as he should be reading the defense instead of just throwing to whoever's open. That does show some progress as a young quarterback, but that's what we got for Cam Ward's first preseason game in the NFL. Did pretty solid. They only scored 1 touchdown, but that's what's going to happen when you're getting your his second drive started in the second quarter. It was crazy. The Buccaneers absolutely took way too much time off the board. But if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and thanks for watching.